On 12 News at 4, we are all about bringing you solutions and empowering you to better your lives. Every day, we bring some of the Valley's most experienced professionals to discuss trending topics on health, ways to save money and improve your financial life, the law, relationships. We even have an expert on pets. And it's not just us asking the questions, we give you, the viewer, the opportunity to weigh in and ask questions too. Now, we're putting all these segments together in one place for you. This is Ask the Expert. On this Money Saving Monday, we are talking about tipping. Did you know the average tip in the U.S. is about 18%? The state that tips the most is California at 23%. The state that tips the least, Illinois at 14%. In case you're wondering how well Arizonans tip, well, we rank fourth highest in the country at almost 21%. That's according to a recent article from USA Today. But doesn't it seem like these days a lot more places are asking for a tip? What's more, 2 out of 3 Americans have a negative view about tipping, and 15% of people are actually confused about who and how much to tip, according to Bankrate. So let's cut the confusion and ask the expert. Joining me now is financial consultant Angelica Prescod. Okay, Angelica, this is such a talker, really everywhere, right? So let's start out of the gate. What constitutes a tip?
Well, when you have a good experience somewhere, sometimes you just want to say a thank you. So a tip is a financial way to say muchas gracias. Thank you.
Okay, but when you say, when you've had good service,
yes.
You don't have good service.
You don't
Are
have
you
to feel
obligated?
Absolutely not. They do not.
Like zero?
They don't pay your light bill. So as long as you're able to state, hey, it's okay, I didn't really have a good experience, kindly, you're not even posting a bad review on social media. So your lack of tip might just be the only thing that hurts.
Yeah. Okay. So when should you tip?
You should tip when it kind of gives you an aha moment. For example, if something was supposed to take 5 minutes, it took 3. If someone was considering something else you're going to do and gave you a tip about the next step you're going to take.
Yeah.
If someone's willing to give you some kind of sound advice, hey, it's going to rain here, take our umbrella, we'll walk you to the car. Any kind of experience that truly shows more than just a basic ABC, I think requires for you to show gratitude.
It's like extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went extra for me. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how much extra we are talking about.
Yes.
We've got some rules of thumb here. Restaurant. When it comes to restaurants, how much are we looking at?
I think 20% is a decent amount to tip, especially when someone is serving you for the next hour and a half. If you ask for something, they're right on the spot to get it for you. And even if it's full, they're still managing to come around and check if you're okay. Let's give them about 20%.
Okay, now when it comes to the bartender,
I usually do $1 a drink. And mind you, some people do more.
I was going to say, because I always thought it was maybe like a restaurant 20% tip. And
yeah,
no?
but that also keeps you track on how many drinks you've had. If you're on your 17th dollar, this might be their 17th drink. So I think it's a good way to continue giving that money directly to the bartender.
Okay, interesting. All right. When it comes to carry out,
yes,
this is where a lot of people do get confused.
Well, yeah, 5 to 10% is decent for you to do there. I mean, sometimes they're bringing it to your house and they're coming faster than they normally would. That's a great win.
That I see.
Yes.
But a lot of times when I've, ordered carry out to be, picked up at the restaurant, am I obligated to tip? Because they'll ask for a tip.
If you're standing to receive your food, I don't recommend that it's important or necessary to tip. If you stood there and they handed you the bagel, and that's where the confusion's coming from.
Right.
If they handed you the bagel and you said thank you and that was all that happened, you don't necessarily have to tip. But hey, if they said, hey, would you like to add some extra cream cheese with this flavor? It really goes well, and you found a new way to mix up your meal, I think that does deserve a little tip.
That's the extra that you were talking about. Okay, when it comes to the salon, I think this is pretty standard, right? 20%?
Yeah.
But this is interesting. If someone else washes your hair.
I'm happy you brought that
up.
Or,
like, okay,
multiple
what do you
steps
do?
And multiple people.
Are you obligated 20%?
Well, you're obligated to thank you, and I recommend for you to do it in cash. So, for example, if you say, hey, she washed my hair, she dyed it. Here's an extra $5, here's an extra $10, whatever it may be. But give it directly to them, saying thank you to them. That way it doesn't end up in a big pot.
Right, interesting. Okay. Concierge reservation. So what's your rule of thumb on that one?
If they were able to get you into a restaurant you naturally wouldn't be able to get into, please tip them. Even if it's $5, $10 something for the thank you of getting me in there. So I always like to appreciate them that way.
All right, and finally, housekeeping. That's a big dilemma too sometimes.
Tip every day there because it's different people that come to your room on a different day. So if you tip on the day that you're leaving, then that particular person's the only person that got to thank you. But if you tip even $5 in the, you know, under the what's that lamp that you have on the side?
Oh yeah, like the nightstand.
Yeah, put it on the nightstand, and then there you have it.
$5 a day?
If you can, yes.
Okay, got it.
I mean, you do know we leave messes behind. I mean, I know.
And when you have kids,
especially a baby.
That's never enough, right, for the housekeeping. All right, and then real quick, bottom line: who do you not have to tip? Where it's not just you don't have to.
Again, back to that bad experience. I think there's anyone that you want, you can tip.
Got it.
But when you're coming back saying this is a terrible idea, don't tip. Don't feel obligated to tip. No one is paying your bills, so therefore it's your decision at the end of the day.
All right, Angelica, always good advice. Now to ask the expert, here to answer your questions about tipping is financial expert Angelica Prescod. Okay, our first question. Everybody wants a tip these days. It seems like it's changed so much since COVID hit. Now I feel like I want to tip less. Am I the only one?
Not at all. This is called tip fatigue.
Yes.
Yes, we're seeing it in every facet, from someone coming to your door to drop off food to you just standing in line for 15 minutes and still having to give a tip. Yeah. It's happening everywhere. So no, you are actually the norm.
Okay, and you don't have to feel obligated.
Not at all.
To tip.
Not at all.
Unless you have that aha moment.
Yes, have that extra experience with the individual that's beyond just the obligation of just serving you your food. And sure, you can show up with a tip. But if all you're doing is showing up to pick up a bag, not necessarily necessary.
Okay. Next up, what can you do when tipping is not an option?
Well, in this case, I think we should use the technology we have available and use social media.
Yeah.
I'll use my example. So one time I was at a restaurant and I did not have enough cash, and that person told me when I asked them, "Are you going to receive the tip?" They said, "No, it just goes into a bucket and I get a little piece of it." So I said, "All right, I don't have cash and I don't want it to go in a bucket because you're the best experience I've had thus far.
Yes.
Let me do a video of you, put it on my social media platform and say, hey, if you guys are coming to such restaurant, come and see this individual because they're the best and I have never had better service." I posted that out and that person's probably getting tips today.
I was going to say, I feel like that's more priceless.
Yes, yes.
Than, you know, actually physically giving, you know, $10 or who knows what.
It stops at 10. This can stop at 2,000.
Never. Yes.
Or not at all.
You know what, also too, I've heard another, you know, service person say that, you know what, the tip, you don't have to, just give me a great review.
Yes, and that goes far. Also, if you invite people to come to the restaurant after, that's another experience I like to give. Hey, I don't have a tip for you, but I'm going to come back again as a repeat customer and bring more people with me. And that generates business for everyone.
I love it. That's an aha moment, Angelica. Love it. Okay, Dawn from Mesa says, is it necessary to tip a manicurist that owns their own business? I always tip an employee of a salon. Great question.
It's a choice. At the end of the day, it's your dollars. You worked hard for them. Make a decision for yourself. Even though they're a business owner, that doesn't mean they don't have bills they have to pay. So if you want to tip them directly, sure, go for it. But it's only because they've given you that aha or that great experience. Or even if they're just consistent in giving you an awesome experience every time you go, you might as well.
When you love it, show it.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Lori from Phoenix says, what about tipping contractors who do a good job for you? Ooh, that's another good one.
I like that because that contractor can possibly be your connect for any time you need a different type of repair that they cover as well. So you never know, that tip might actually give you inside jobs.
Ooh, okay. Next one. I know you're supposed to tip people like your stylist for personal services, etc. But who else? Rideshare driver, grocery delivery, barista?
You call the shots. It's about you and how you experience them. If I had a barista that came and gave me therapy at the same time while giving me my nice, hey, here's an extra $300. I'm just
they wear many hats.
But my point is, make sure that you show love when they're giving you excellent service. Don't base it on the title of the person. Base it on the experience they gave you.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, Angelica, thank you so very much. Excellent, excellent advice. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow our YouTube channel for more content and watch the Ask the Expert segment weekdays at 4 p.m. and right here on our 12 Plus app.